Kelazor towards the south, towards the bottom. We have Mana as well, Nicaract, Mindle VK, Spazzy and Raynor is here as well. Let's go. A lot of players. Again, a really big bracket, so it takes a while to go through it. But we're getting into our next series, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Oceanborn, we have our Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, the caster, representing Super People Esports. It is Indy. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the teamless Zerg player, the foreign hope himself, the blue Zerg. It is Nerchio. Let's go. Nerchio, papi, Nerchio. Okay. As we do see Nerchio going for a standard hatch gas pool. Because of this, he's going to be forced to take the unnatural natural. So Indy, he does deny that natural base, forcing out the unnatural from Nerchio. So not a bad move so far by Indy. Good start. Solid start. And we've casted a little bit of Indy as of late. We've casted a little bit of Indy. But I'm still not certain where I want to place him here. He's a good player, don't get me wrong. Good player, good caster. But can he put a dent in Nerchio? Can he accomplish what Jome could not? That I'm not so sure about. But again, so far it's a very different start. Indy just scouring the map. Getting an eye on the opener. Hatch gas pool does confirm. Even looking to steal some of those minerals. Indy being as annoying as possible in the main base. We can see Nerchio counteracting that with his own drone micro as well, making sure that he doesn't get pushed off the mineral patch. Nicely done. Minerals are mined. Indy gets the hell out of there. And behind this, we're getting into our gate expand into Cybercore, into our tech of choice. Based on the pylon placement, I would assume this is a Stargate opener. So it's looking like a Stargate opener here by Indy. And if it's a Stargate, it should be Oracle, should be leading into a third base behind it. So standard play overall. There it is. The PvP. It's here, back. PvP? Polish versus Polish is what I mean. So in the chat. Yes, the truest of all PvPs is a pink Polish Protoss player up against a purple Polish Protoss player. That's PvP in every sense of the word. It's beautiful. On the Platinum Heroes. On a team that starts with P. As the EDF does get across the map. Gonna be getting a bit of damage done here. We do pick off a couple of drones, but at the same time, the Lings across the map, they get in! Ooh, this should not have happened. Lings, they slip into the main base. 3 probes go down. Yes, Indy may have killed 1 worker across the map, but the probes keep falling. 4 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. Very good counter damage done by Nerchio. He does confirm the Stargate as well. He's fully aware of what's going on. And back at home, we should be just focusing on droning and making queens. Setting up for the Oracle harass. You have a couple of Lings being active. A couple of Lings moving out. Indy is going to be pushing. Does get eyes on the Lings at least. And he should be setting up back at home. But his third base is delayed. We should have seen it by now. Third base should be there. Oracle gets across the map. Runs into the queens. Good reaction out of Nerchio. Loses 1 drone. Oh, second drone falls. 2 drones in total. Ling still sharking around, still being active. As they dive on the probe. Oh, they want it. They don't get it. Whew. Good movement there from Indy. Does save the worker. Throws down the third. Gets it up and running. And across the map, will lose the Oracle. Bit of miscontrol there by Indy. Oracle goes down. Was that worth it? I mean, Indy, he only killed 3 drones. 3 drones for 1 Oracle, not worth it for the Protoss. Especially because the Oracle is so valuable over the course of the game. Throwing down stasis traps, tagging the army, scouting as well. Oracles, they play a crucial part. But I'm really curious to see what the follow-up is. So, triple Oracle opener, into a third base, into a Twilight Council, and a Forge. It looks like +1 on Blink. does look like standard play out of Indy. Could be charge, to be fair. Could be charged as Reps say shade into the mineral line. They get one drone. They manage to get one worker as they shade towards that main. Oh, Queen's in position. Nerchio getting away with skipping the spore. At least in the natural. And we deny a lot of mining time here at the third. As finally, the Adepts are going to be cleaned up. Finally, they do go down. Nerchio going for a counterattack. Again, Nerchio is still up in drones because of those dead probes earlier, but he will lose that Overlord. We'll lose it. The wall! The wall is not a wall. The Lings, they flood into the natural. Boys are being pulled. Not like this. Probes, they're going down. Ay, ay, ay. Indy doing his best hero impression. As we lose 10 workers here at the natural. 12! And we're going to lose even more in the main. Oh, as we could do get cleaned up. Whew. Okay, 12 in total. That's still an insane amount of damage. Almost a mineral line falls. And now Indy, he has to lick his wounds. He has to recover. He's reprobing, resaturating. And Nerchio, he's chilling. He's up 15 probes. Up 15 workers. Plus on melee on the way. He's just extending that worker lead as well. Working his upgrades. Lair. Do we have a Roach Warren? No Roach Warren. Interesting. Without a Roach Warren, this looks like potentially Ling Hydra. Could be Ling Bane Hydra, and yeah, there it is. There's the Hydrogen thrown down. The other option is that this could have been Spire play for Mutas, but that's a little bit more committed and a little bit more risky. So Nerchio just going for the Ling Hydra instead. While Indy catches an Overlord. Threatens the fourth. Lings, they're flooding across the map as Indy moves out. Indy misses the army. Indy does miss the army. His third base is looking so vulnerable. No shield battery, no overcharge, only a cannon, and one cannon is not good enough. It's going to go down, and Indy turns back around. He's racing back home. We focus on the pylon. We take down the Zealots. And thankfully, we do have a wall. The wall is up and running. Now, this Ling run by of Nerchio didn't kill a lot of workers, but it denies mining time, it forces back the army, disrupted the production, and does delay Indy. And Indy, what are we working on? We just now start +2, we just now start the Bay. Lings are being shut down. As yeah, Indy is taking a fourth. You saw earlier that Indy wanted to push out, but he was stuck. Now he's stuck at home, forced to turn back around. And Nerchio has full map control. We have Lings on both ends. Hydras are amassing. Infestation bits on the way for Hive Tech for Vipers. So Ling, Hydra, Viper. Potentially Lunkers on the horizon as well. We don't need them yet, but they're going to be amazing against Colossi. So we are just working on that next step. A revelation on the base. We deny the fourth. Fourth base is cancelled. The Lings, they're getting out of control. They get a full surround and there's no splash damage. Stalkers, they crumble before the might of these +1 melee Lings. Yeah, the Lings are snowballing out of control. So many Stalkers going down, trading minerals for gas. And here come the Hydras. The Hydras, they have arrived. And still no shield battery, still no overcharge. Nothing to defend here at the third. Here comes the Disruptor, not a Colossus. Big, oh my, big connection. But it's still not enough. As Hydras are amassing, Lings, they're flooding in. The wave of Zur cannot be stopped. Not here, not anymore. We take down the Disruptor. There's Lings in the natural. GG gets called, and Nerchio, he snowballs out of control, and he takes game number 1. GG. GG, well played. A solid game there out of Nerchio. Again, Indy didn't have a bad start initially, but I mean, I say that Nerchio did kill a lot of workers. He was able to, again, delay the third. He was able to shut down the Oracle, and his Mass Ling did get out of hand. kind of the big moments when Nerchio took control of the game was actually when Nerchio got into the natural. Remember, he killed 12 probes. 12 workers went down with that Ling run by. The non-stop Ling harass was a little bit too much to handle. And with that, Nerchio takes the lead in the series. But merely, that is only one game. That is only game one. We can fight back. We can bounce back. I want to believe. I want to believe that Indy can pull it off. I want to believe. But we'll see. See if we can bring it all together here. As we're getting ready for game number 2. We're getting ready for game 2. Nerchio, he's asking for a moment, asking for a minute. We're more than happy to oblige. More than happy to give it to him. So it looks like we're going to be taking a moment here. And, yeah, I guess we can take a moment to have a look at the rest of the bracket as well. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Spirit is poised to face off against the winner of this series. Unless we find someone else. Unless we do find someone else. Sorry, I'm just trying to scroll up. As our players are ready. And it looks like... Oh, my apologies. I got ahead of myself. Spirit, he's looking to face... Or he's working his way through the bracket. But Battle B is waiting for the winner of this series. That's it. That's it. I got my players confused. Spirit is later on. But Battle B is poised and ready to face off against either Nerchio or Indy. Who is it going to be? As spawning in the top right-hand corner of Alkione, we have our Polish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Team Super People Esports. It is Indy. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Blue Zerg player, representing himself, the returning foreign hope from Heart of the Swarm. It is Nerchio. Leading the series 1-0. And having a pretty interesting playstyle as well in the last game. Again, a big reason for it was because of how much momentum he gained early on. Went for a very Ling-heavy style, led into Hydras later on. But he was in full control of that game. And can he be stopped? Can he be slowed down? We'll see. For now, forsake the unnatural natural. So a bit of an uncomfortable start here for Nerchio. Indy back at home, not going for a proxy, going for a gate expand setup as well. So far, everything looking as it should. Everything looking normal. And we have our gases, we have our spawning pool on the way, so hatch gas pool, likewise gate expand into the cyber core. Openers are looking pretty normal. We are loading into Alkione. Bearing in mind this map is very macro oriented, very defendable. We've seen a lot of late game, we've seen a lot of longer games on this map. So I'm curious how Indy approaches this. Last game he was trying to be aggressive but was forced to back off. Do we just play turtle heavy? Do we play tech heavy? Remember what Jomek was trying to do in game 2? That's kind of what I'm feeling here for Indy. Sorry, in game 1. Where you can just kind of turtle up on 3 and 4 bases. You can work towards Colossus production, build up to 4 Colossi, and then move out. A much more defensive style. It's going to be available here. It's going to be available for Indy, but we'll see. We'll see if he goes for it. Probe gets across the map. Just scouts, making sure that, okay, we've pulled out of gas. We've only got Ling speed on the way. Nothing crazy, nothing out of the norm. Nothing too unorthodox. As the probe is going to be turning back around. And back at home we have our take of choice. Once again, based on the pylon positioning, Stargate. Stargate opener from Indy. Should be into Oracles. Into a third base. Again, it's the follow-up that I'm most curious about. Is once again the Lings that get in. How many probes this time? How many probes will fall? For now, better reaction out of Indy. Oh! Oh god, the probes are getting low. And a lot of lost mine time. One probe goes down. And again, they were forced so far away from that mineral line. We split off the Lings. We get a full scout. We get eyes on the Stargate and on the Oracle. So good scouting here by Nerchio. But he only gets one worker kill this time. So a much cleaner defense here from Indy. Much cleaner defense. Ling goes down back across the map. We have our spores in production. One in the main. One should be on the way soon at the natural. Ooh, Lings are amassing once again. Yeah, Lings are getting ready to move out across the map. Oh. We have eyes on the would-be third. And Nerchio, his goal here is to either deny the third base or slip into the natural. The wall is open. The wall is open. Oh, as we do close the door. Oracle gets across the map, gets one drone. Gets one drone as Lings to get us around. Oracle's out of position. Second Oracle just now comes out, but two Adepts fall. And the base was wide open. Clean wall off there from Indy though. Whew. Does wall up, does throw down the pylon. Indy holds. Indy does hold. It was still a better trade for Nerchio. Still a better trade overall, and he wants that Adept. Won't get it though. Is going to be forced back. We have 18 more Lings. Oh, that's a lot of Lings. 18 more Lings in production. Nerchio flooding across the map. What's his goal? Deny the third. Break the third base. One way or the other. Can he do it? Can he break it as he's flooding Lings across the map? With triple Oracle, I don't think he can. I'll be honest, I don't think these Lings can break this base. There's so many Oracles to defend. Lings, they apply pressure. They get here to the third. Two Oracles move out. Now is not the time. The Oracles, they move out across the map. Lings, they get on top of the third base. We force the activation of the Pulsar Beam. We do back off for now. Two Oracles, they're getting into the main. There's a Spore. There are Queens. We can still find damage. And Nerchio is going back in. He wants that base. We have a fourth Oracle in production. The Oracles, they get 2 drones in the main base. That's okay. That's not ideal. And no shot. They're going to get a kill. It's so low and they're going to get it. It's going to go down. Big pick off there. Nerchio kills the third. And with that Indy, he's stuck on 2 bases. And what are we working with? A 2-base all-in. We throw down a wall of gateways. That's all we can do. We have +1 charge on the horizon, not blink. And Nerchio is in a very nice position. From here, he can drone happily, take his gases. I would like to see a Roach Warren. I would like to... There it is. Ask and you shall receive. Roach Warren is on the way for Nerchio. So, very safe play from our Zerg player. If Nerchio went Ling Hydra again, then he could be in some trouble. As he's going to deny the base again. 1 kill and 1 cancel on that third. Nerchio backing off. We do see Indy doubling down here with his Robo, Templar Archives, Archon Production, Archon Production and Immortal Production. That's it. That's it. No shield battery. That Stalker, it's getting low. We're going to break through. Thankfully we have Zealots. Whew. Charge has been revealed, which means we know we need Roaches, and we know we need maybe even Banelings as well. As we just go for this, so we don't even care. We go for this round. There is a shield battery, but it's out of range. And even if it was within range, there's no overcharge. It's gonna go down. Nerchio achieving so much with pure Ling. He wants the Stalker. He gets it. He gets in. The Stalker falls. Lings, they get into the main base. They shouldn't get much damage done here, but they get in nonetheless. They deny mining time. They got 1 probe kill, and now Indy, he's all in. We're pushing. It's all or nothing for Indy. We have to end the game or die trying. Or kill Nerchio or die trying. And this is it. We warp in a handful of Zealots. We have 4 Oracles in the sky. We have Roaches to defend, though. Ling Roach. We have Queens waddling in as well to add some DPS. Spine Crawlers on the way. The Zealots, they're slowly breaking through. They're gaining ground. They are gaining ground, but alas, with reinforcements, we're running out of steam. We're running out of Zealots. And Nerchio, he will hold. He will defend. And Indy forced to turn back around. And what can he do against these Roaches? What can be done? We have a Void Ray on the way. I mean, that'll help. That'll do it. But we need time. We need time to make Void Rays. That's time that we just don't have. Nerchio, he busts into the third base once again. We're racing back home. Oracles, they're doing what they can, but Oracle's trying to focus down Master Roach. It's not a pretty sight. That's a kill on the Nexus. That's a kill here at the third. Roaches are waddling back. They're waddling back home. Nerchio, all he has to do is just focus on rebuilding and remaxing. He's on 77 workers. That's full base saturation. We have a Spire who really wanted to make use of it to get into muta production. I don't know if that's necessary, but I mean, mutas, they're available. Indy stuck on these 3 bases. And there it is. The mutas are on the way to seal the deal. As a reminder, there's no Blink Stalkers. There's no Blink Stalkers, there's no Phoenixes, there's no good answer for mutas. So mutas, they can do well for themselves. There's a Void Ray. We have a Hydrogen on the way, so it looks like we're only making mutas to harass, and then we're going to be going for a tech switch into Hydras. Which does make sense. 4th base on the way. Indy working for some Archon harass, coming with the Oracles as well. Meanwhile, here come the mutas. Here come the mutas right for the bases here of Indy. Going for a defensive warp in. We have a handful of Stalkers. Remember, they don't have Blink. Oh, we depower the Stargates. Mutas, they haven't done much. Oh, but the Oracles, they walk into their deaths. The Archons, they're putting in work. But the Oracles, they do struggle. Yeah, going for the Evo Chamber, going for the upgrades. We do deny +2. Not bad. +2 is denied. The force field is real. The Nova goes off. Last second slip, but not good enough. Good connection from Indy. Recalls back home. Did have to recall because of the mutas. Because of those mutas. As again, Indy, he's just perpetually stuck on these 3 bases. I mean, he had a hard time even getting up to these 3. Lurker down on the way. Hive as well. Nerchio just taking up even further, and he's maxed out. Nerchio, he's maxed out at this point. Now is the time to push. Now, Nerchio does have a subpar army with mainly roaches, but he can afford to get rid of them and refine his army. Slipping into the natural. Yeah, Roach is coming in from behind. Not the best fight here from Nerchio, to be honest. Indy, we can hold. Disruptor goes down. You can see the Roaches just melt against Indy's army. It just goes to show how poorly Roaches scale into a longer game. But it's okay because we're getting rid of Roaches and replacing them with Lings and Hydras. Just a more refined army. 15 probes. Oh my. 15 workers go down. Basically, 16 workers. That's the mineral line. Mineral line does fall. Nerchio, as he backs off. Again, he's remaxing with Ling Hydra. Working on Lurker upgrades. He's got the Hive. Vipers can be on the horizon. Now, Indy is building up an army. Now, to be fair, like, we are building up quite a death bowl of an army here with Stalkers, with Archons, with Disruptors. The problem is that this is Ground Toss, and Hydra Lurker Viper is just superior, or can be superior. Nerchio mainly has Lings. That's a lot of Lings. How many do we have? 108 Lings available here for Nerchio. Let's go. We dive into the third base. We get into the mineral line. Archons, they can trade well. They can trade well here. Lings, they're going to be going down. Trading with the Stalkers. Not a good trade here for Nerchio. I say that. He did kill 25 probes. Pretty good trade by Nerchio. Loses all his Lings, but trades well. Roaches are being thrown away. We're remaxing with more Lings, more Hydras. We annihilate the natural. And we're still not done. Fanning out more Lings. We're forcing the all-in. And what are we pushing into? Lurkers. Well, there's only one Lurker, to be fair. So we're forcing the base trade. We're forcing the all-in. We have Mutas in the main. Lings at the natural. Lings at the third. And it's all or nothing for Indy. Now, again, he has a pretty large army. And the Lurkers, they need a little bit more time. Lurkers are exposed. We catch one. Indy, he gets a Lurker. And he's pushing into that natural. Again, Indy completely all in, but he's pushing into Lurkers. No! The Novas! Good connections. Very good connections there by Indy. And back at home, the Mutas are still wreaking havoc. The Ling Lurker, they come back home. There's no detection! We need a revelation here as Lurkers, they're popping off. There we go, big revelation on the army. We take down 3 Lurkers. Another revelation on the Lurkers on low ground. Indy is still breaking through. Indy has a large army. He has no economy though. He has nothing back at home, and Nerchio, he can just win via base trade. We can go for the elimination. Yeah, Nerchio is just flooding Lings across the map. Indy has 1 probe left. That is the final worker of Indy. So there's no way to throw down any buildings across the map, and it goes down. This is all we have. These are the only buildings of Indy. We could try to recall, I guess, but I mean, that just means that Nerchio can do whatever he wants if we recall. Yeah, buildings are falling. I mean, at least Indy did force a base trade. He does recall with some of his army into Lurkers. No shot. Oh, we need to burrow, by the way. There we go. We do burrow. We shut down the recalled army. It melts. Nerchio popping off with his +2 melee Lings. Ultras have arrived. Indy committing to the base trade. But this is all we have left. 3 gateways down to 2, down to 1 gateway and 1 Stargate. And this is it, the final building. Indy, GG gets called, and Nerchio will take the series 2-0. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations to Nerchio as he does take the series 2-0. In a way to be expected, but I mean, hey, Indy, he made it spicy towards the end. You know, he went for the base trade. It was his only way out, his only way to make some magic happen. So much love to Indy for his effort. But GG, Nerchio, he will advance on into the next round. We'll be advancing on into the next round. And Indy, I'm sure, is happy to cast. So Indy, he may be knocked out of the tournament, but he's a caster. So he'll be there. He'll be there for the rest of the series, for the rest of these games. Be there to cast. And to follow Nerchio's run. And we'll see if Nerchio can go even further. Again, up next, we're going to be following Nerchio into a Zerg versus Terran. Into a very different matchup. We've been casting a lot of Nerchio's Zerg versus Protoss. But what about his Zerg versus Terran? As he's going to be going up against Battle B. Let's go.